Hello, my name is Wendy Stein, and I am a special education curriculum specialist for grades kindergarten through sixth grade. I am so glad you could join me. In this lesson, we're going to learn about central message. Today's lesson will be determining the central message of a text. This is previously learned information that we have gone through over the course of this year. So, what is the central message? The central message is a lesson that we learn from reading the story. The important pieces of information are called key details. Key details in the text help us find the central message or lesson of the story. The most common central message topics we seem to find include do your best, be nice to others, tell the truth, never give up, be a friend, and be brave. We all know the story of Little Red Riding Hood. Take a moment and think about the central message of this story. What is the lesson that Little Red Riding Hood has learned? So, what was the lesson that Little Red Riding Hood learned? If you guess, do not talk to strangers, you're absolutely right. Because Little Red Riding Hood talked to the wolf in the forest, she was almost eaten. So, the lesson that Little Red Riding Hood learned was not to talk to strangers. Sounds like good advice to me. Let's practice. We're going to read some short stories together and determine the central message. Remember to ask yourself as we're reading, what is the story trying to teach me? What does the author want me to take away from this story? What does the character learn? What is the central message of story number 1? Listen carefully as I read it to you. Danny saw his friends playing on the classroom iPad. He knew he wanted a turn. He decided to tell the boys that the teacher said it was his turn. The boys felt sad, but still gave Danny the iPad. The entire time Danny played on the iPad, he felt guilty for telling a lie. He went to the other boys and gave them the iPad. He also told them he was sorry for not being honest. What is the central message in this story? There are a few key details that kind of help us understand what the central message is. Let's look at them. In the story, it said that Danny felt guilty for telling a lie. He also told them that he was sorry for not being honest. Can you determine the central message of the text? Take a minute to think about the lesson that Danny has learned in the story before moving forward. Remember to ask yourself, what is the story trying to teach me? What does the author want me to take away from this story? What does Danny learn? Did you determine the central message of this story? Since Danny felt guilty for lying and had to say, I'm sorry for lying, the lesson must be do not lie. Then you won't have guilt or have to apologize. Story 2. Jill had homework for math, reading, and writing. Her friends asked her to come over after school. Jill knew she really needed to do her homework, but she didn't want to miss out on playtime. Jill asked her mom if she could go to a friend's house. She asked if she had homework, but Jill said no. The next day at school, Jill got a detention because her homework was not finished. What is the central message of this story? Take a minute to think about the lesson that Jill has learned in the story before moving forward. Remember to ask yourself, what is the story trying to teach me? What does the author want me to take away from the story? What does Jill learn? Were you thinking what I was thinking? Jill got in trouble for not doing her homework. The lesson must be do your homework. Story 3. Ben knew the school rules on the playground. You were not supposed to hang from the monkey bars unless there was a teacher around. Ben wanted to impress his friends, though, so Ben decided to jump up and grab the monkey bars. As soon as he reached for the next monkey bar, his finger slipped and he fell to the ground. Ben heard a pop and felt a lot of pain in his arm. He knew it was broken. What is the central message of this story? Take a minute to think about the lesson Ben has learned in the story before moving forward. Remember to ask yourself, what is the story trying to teach me? What does the author want me to take away from the story? What does the character learn? Poor Ben. Well, I definitely learned a lesson from him. Always follow the rules. Did you get that one correct? I bet you did. Story number 4. Beth was trying out for the soccer team for the 5th time. She has tried out every year for the last 5 years, but she has never made it. Beth thought she would try again because she has been practicing a lot. At the soccer tryouts, she made a goal and dribbled the ball really well. The next day, she got a phone call saying that she made the team. Beth was so happy to be on the team. What is the central message of this story? Take a minute to think about the lesson that Beth has learned in the story before moving forward. Continue to ask yourself, what is the story trying to teach me? What does the author want me to take away from this story? What does the character learn? Next, I want you to share the story about Beth and discuss your answer with an adult. Tell them why you believe your answer is correct. Do you and the adult have the same answer? I'm sure you do. Thank you for watching as we learned about central message. You did a great job. Remember to keep watching other videos like this one so we can all keep learning together. You can watch lessons daily on STPPS TV or on our website at stpsb.org. See you again soon.